Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another self-care video, but this video is going to revolve more around habits for the mind. I talk a lot about self-care on this channel, obviously both internal, things that we could do for our health, and external for our skin and our hair and our homes. I do believe habits for the mind and for the creative mind are equally important. So I want to say a thank you to the sponsor of this video, Audible. I've been using their service for years. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and share. I think social media and our phones have become such a big part of our lives. And even if we have busy lives, sometimes if we feel bored, it's easy to get lost on our phones. So limiting screen time is something I really try to do. Your phone actually allows you to block certain apps and customize how often you do screen time. If you're good about not checking your phone, then obviously you don't need to do this. But for me, sometimes I'll limit it, like the time I pick up my kids from school until they go to sleep at night. I'll block out my apps, or I'll limit it to an hour or 2 or 3 hours a day. Obviously, because social media is a part of my job, I have to be on it for a certain amount of time, but just limiting it can be really, really helpful. I really enjoyed being homeschooled through junior high and high school, and it really taught me the discipline of teaching myself the things that I'm interested in. I've always said that one thing I love about technology is that you have access to educate yourself. And one thing I like to do is listen to audiobooks, and I usually listen in the car on the way to pick up my kids from school, both drop off and pick up. Sometimes I'll listen to music or a podcast, but I love audiobooks, and I'm listening to Loving What Is by Byron Katie, which is a really good book, and then also The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And I really like his principles for finances. I've always been a saver, but I'm also a spender at the same time, if that makes sense. So he just encourages me to do even more saving and a little less spending. So I just, I like listening to it. And you can start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. You can choose 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Just visit audible.com/Rachel T or text Rachel T to 500-500. Along with audiobooks, I just, again, love to educate myself on whatever topics I'm interested in. So as a songwriter, I love Bob Dylan's lyrics, and so I have this book of his. It's his lyrics. He truly has a way with words, and I just love how he expresses himself through his lyrics. And so, I love to get inspiration from that. I also love to read and look at books that inspire what we grow in our garden. There are also so many great blogs and YouTube channels on different topics like composting. I'm really fascinated with herbal remedies and, growing medicinal herbs. That's something that I will, study and research, and that kind of helps propel what we end up growing and how we utilize what we're growing on our property. So that's, those types of books I really love, and we've learned so much that way, and it really inspires not only the content that we create, but where we choose to focus our attention. So I really do feel like education is, really important, and also self-education, and there's so many resources to educate yourself on topics that you're interested in. The great news is that even though classes and teachers are really great, you can learn a lot through books. I have a really beautiful pair of books that I was actually gifted for the holidays that I haven't really had a chance to go through, but I definitely plan to, in the near future when I have time, which is Everyday Watercolor, and then a great sketching book that an artist friend of mine gave me. I used to take art classes as a kid, and I loved them. With all the extracurricular classes that I like to take, art, music, and horseback riding lessons and things like that, it really added up. And my family, struggled financially, so I would pay for them myself because I worked. But then I started realizing, I could go to the bookstore and rent out books. And in the last few years especially, I've been trying to kind of get back into the things that I used to love as a child that were more simple and things that made me happy. So less about more things and more how can I be creative and use my creativity to bring forth joy. There's a lot of great books that you can purchase or you can rent from the library. You can also go onto YouTube and watch videos. These are really cool. These are watercolor sheet papers, and it comes with this pen here. It's small enough to fit in your back pocket, but even in a purse and, take to go. So I want to experiment a little bit more with watercolor in the near future, but I've been focusing more on sketching things that I find inspiring. Along the same lines, finding peaceful hobbies that really keep you in the moment, something that you really love. So I haven't done a puzzle in a really, really long time. So I'm making myself a cup of the hot herbal fall tea. And then I got this puzzle on Amazon, I think for just a few dollars. It was a fall puzzle. And I thought that it might be something fun to do. And it reminded me when I was younger, my mom, for her birthday, all she wanted to do was take a puzzle up to Big Bear and get a cabin with our family, and then everybody sit around and do a puzzle. And we all kind of complained about it, like, that's so boring, Mom. But now as a mom, as an adult, that sounds amazing. Like, just to go to Big Bear and do a puzzle sounds amazing. So Mom, that was such a great idea. I ended up just getting this puzzle because I thought, you know what, why not? I'm gonna try it. So I got this puzzle. I kind of started with the pieces and I started putting it together myself. And then what was funny is Byron came over and started kind of working on it a little bit with me. And then Oliver, when he came home from school, was interested in it. And he found a few pieces and did a few matches. And Isaiah's still a little young, so he was just kind of watching. So I have not done a puzzle in years, so it's definitely not a regular habit for me to sit down in the middle of the day and do a puzzle. But I got it started in the middle of the day a little bit, and then we all kind of worked on it a little bit later, and then me and Byron worked on it a little bit at night. And, it was really great. It felt really peaceful and enjoyable. Again, with an interest of mine like music, I took classes as a child, here and there, piano, guitar, I dabbled in it, and then I studied music in college. But if you don't really practice and stay on top of it, you can definitely kind of lose, what you had worked so hard to gain through those classes. So about 5 years ago, I mentioned that I got a piano and I started building my music room and really started studying and practicing. And now I like to take a lot of online courses, and there's a lot of great apps with really reasonable price points, musicians who offer classes and specify in certain genres. So I take a blues piano course and a blues guitar course, and then I've been dabbling a little bit in bass and harmonica, and I just try to practice as often as I possibly can with my schedule. Another habit that I've been doing pretty much my entire life, but I didn't really realize it was a habit until recently, is journaling. Whenever I get an idea or a thought, whether it's a lyric or an idea for a video or something that I want to work on, I'll write down my goals. I'll do 1-year goals, 6-month goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. I find that usually when I look back, a lot of those things have come to fruition. So baby steps are really important, and journaling helps a lot. I'm someone who definitely has a very busy mind, and I like to keep my mind very creative and busy. And if I don't, I tend to think about worst case scenarios or get anxious. And so, it's very important for me to keep my mind busy. With that said, I thrive the best in a clean and organized environment, but that's not always possible. So my goal is to just start with small spaces at a time, or 1 or 2 rooms at a time. If I can't clean the whole house or organize the whole house, I'll start with 1 room or 1 space. And today I was organizing the closet. Something that's become really, really crucial to me, especially over the last year, is quiet time. There are definitely seasons in life, and I used to really have to squeeze everything into my kids' quiet time or nap time, and I definitely didn't have time for all of these things. But quiet time has been something that I really try to make sure I get, even if it's just 15-20 minutes, or even if I can just go take a walk. With both of my kids in school, I've been really trying to have a routine that includes work, but also includes things that I feel are, good for my mind. And quiet time is really, really important. And just being out in nature, I find a lot of peace of mind in nature, and I just love to listen to the sounds. And so today I took a little walk over to my neighbor's house. He is really gracious. I always go over and love on his horses, and he has a bajillion pomegranates. His pomegranate trees are more mature than ours, so he's like, take as many pomegranates as you want, and I go give kisses to the horses. And he's got a bunch of horses, and they're all super, super loving and really sweet. try to create a routine that I feel is healthy and positive. And I know we live in a really crazy world, and there's a lot going on with politics, and there's a lot to see and absorb online, and it's very, very overwhelming. And I am a homebody. When I feel overwhelmed or anxious by the things that I can't control, I try to focus on the things that I can control, which is my own mind and my own view and perspective of the world and what I bring to the world, and my own responsibility, and keeping my mind creative and focusing on that is a part of that for me. So I want to thank the sponsor of this video for Audible. I love audiobooks. Please be sure to use my code audible.com/RachelT and check out that offer. I'll put all the details in the description box. Thank you so much for watching this video and for watching my channel. If you like my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I hope that these ideas inspire you and encourage you to be the best version of yourself and to be an individual and just bring positivity and joy to the world. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.